Hello there, I'm the man about dessert, I'm the man, and this is your dessert. Today I am making a lemon blueberry cake, perfect for dessert or breakfast snack. This is a favorite treat of mine in either of those situations. Today I'm gonna hope that you can follow along and make this cake alongside me. The ingredients I have set out in front of me, they're also in the description, so you'll no need to pause the video and write them down. At the moment we have 2 eggs, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of sour cream, half a cup of salted butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, make sure it's real, 2 cups of all-purpose or cake flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half tablespoon of lemon zest, 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, 2 cups of blueberries, half a tablespoon of cornstarch, and 1 more teaspoon of lemon juice. Now the first step to making this delicious cake is to mix our eggs and sugar together on high for 3 to 5 minutes till they're nice and fluffy. Now, at the moment, as you've noticed on the video, I have a quarantine cut, which basically means no cut. I've got to tell you, I'm starting to like the look, although shampoo costs are going up, and I don't think that's very sustainable. So I'm probably going to have to cut it back the second the barbers are up. Alright, so now that we have the eggs and sugar together, I'm just going to stick my mixer on high and mix this for 3 to 5 minutes. See you when that's done. Now I gotta say, that looks awfully nice. Silly me, actually. I forgot to film this step. This is me coming back to you a little bit later in the recipe. I ended up forgetting to show that you also add the sour cream at this very moment. I'll add a little text reminder at the start as well. Make sure you add the sour cream to the egg, butter, vanilla, and sugar once you combine it all. Alright, back to the rest. Alright, and with all of that combined, our sour cream, butter, vanilla, and the egg, all in that nice bowl. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our flour, we're going to take our baking powder, and we're going to whisk it all together nicely just to make sure it's combined. The baking powder is what makes the cake rise and be delicious. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add about 1/3 of our dry mixture at a time into our batter. Now that we have a nice thick batter, as you can see, very nice and thick, what I'm going to do, always good kitchen safety to unplug your mixer before messing with it. We do not want to lose a finger here at Man About Dessert. Pop those out. I'm going to give these a nice little, very nice patink as they go falling in, and I'm going to switch to my spatula from here on out to get the last little bit in. Right now, we are going to add 1 teaspoon of fresh lemon juice into the batter and mix that in nicely. Yep. And then we're going to add 1/2 tablespoon of lemon zest. Once that is in, we'll use the spatula to just get the last little buggers out. There we go. And now we'll fold this in very nicely, making sure we get it all combined, and you'll see the streaks of lemon zest come out, and it'll look like a very nice marble. Now, of course, you do not have to keep the marbling in the slightest. Once it's in your mouth, you're not even going to notice. And there we go. Just as we are mixing this in oh so nicely, the lemon zest is slowly getting incorporated, the juice is getting spread all throughout the batter, and this is what's gonna give our cake a nice lemon pop when you take a nice bite of it. Of course, not too much, or else that would just be way too sour. If you are adventurous, feel free to add a tiny bit more juice if you would like some more lemon pop. Now that we have our beautiful batter, we are just going to set, once again, this aside, just for a few minutes here while we prep our blueberries. Now you might think adding the blueberries to the cake right off the bat like this will be fine. And in some cases, traditionally it would. But right now what we're going to do is we are going to add a 1/2 tablespoon of cornstarch to our 2 cups of blueberries. There we go. And another teaspoon of lemon juice. And sprinkle this on. Then all we have to do here is grab a little spatula and start stirring. Now first, it's going to be a clumpy mess, but after a couple minutes of stirring, be careful not to break the berries, it will turn into these beautiful, beautiful looking, almost glossy blueberries. Wonderful, and there we have the blueberries. Now, we have The final step is to combine these batters and blueberries. Here we have our bundt pan, buttered on all sides to make sure the cake does not stick. We also have a baking pan alongside of a cooling rack to let the cool cake once it is cooked. Bundt pans on the bottom are not flat, so it requires you to put them on a pan that way the cake does not rise unevenly. Now, it is extremely important how you layer this. If you want a nice even coat of blueberries throughout, of course. If you were to mix the blueberries into the batter, they have a chance of breaking, exploding, there'll be little bits throughout the place, and there might be places that have no blueberries at all. This way ensures that there's blueberries throughout every bite of deliciousness. First, what you're going to do is you're going to grab a nice little helping of the blueberries, nice and candied, of course. Lay them across the bottom of the bundt pan. Be generous. You have plenty of berries here. We did lose one down the center, I know. Then, with your nice spatula, you're going to add a nice helping of batter over all of those. Now we have the first layer of batter down. We're going to just put a nice, beautiful layer of blueberries on top of that. Now what we're going to do is, with the last layer, just smooth this out all nice and flat. And the spatula has a sizable divot in the middle, so I'm going to be using my other spatula to scrape off any last remaining batter that I want to get in the pan. And lastly, we're going to scoop the last little bit of blueberries onto the bottom, just so it has that nice aesthetically pleasing look from all sides. And voila! You have it ready to pop into the oven, preheated to 350 Fahrenheit. Now that I have this delectable cake, I'm going to grab my baking pan and pop it in the oven. Now we're going to let that cake sit in the oven for a nice 50 minutes. Of course, at 50 you will check it with a toothpick. As long as the toothpick comes out clean, feel free to take it out of the oven and let it cool. If the toothpick does not come out clean, check on it every 5 minutes until it's ready. Oh, this smells so delicious. And here we have it, the lemon blueberry cake. Just freshly taken out of the oven. It smells so amazing. Of course, as always, you gotta make sure that it is cooked all the way through. Generally use a toothpick. I don't have any, so I'll be using a knife. And look at that, slides out completely clean. Mind the blueberry. I'm gonna let this cool for a little bit in the pan and then give it a nice flip onto the cooling rack. Oh, didn't see you there. And now that the cake is all cooled, well, not quite. Now that the cake is on the cooling rack, what I'm gonna do is we're going to give it a nice little flip and let it cool a little bit more. Excuse any potential noise you hear in the background, the dishwasher is running. A little flip. This is the scariest part. Oh! Scariest part, scariest part, scariest part, scariest part. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. A beautiful, beautiful lemon and blueberry bundt cake. And now that the bundt cake is released from the pan so nicely because we buttered it, I am now going to give it a little dusting of powdered sugar just for that final bit of finish. There you have it. A beautiful, delicious blueberry lemon bundt cake.